Hey guys, Brian here with a new Minecraft video. Today I have a new board game that I made. I call it 50-50, and it is played with two people. How it works is there's player 1 and player 2. Player 1 places an arrangement of blocks in any of the slots, and player 2 has to guess the order and position that they are in. So player 1 places any combination of blocks in the slots, player 2 makes guesses on the locations of the blocks. Player 2 gets half the number of buttons and guesses. Now on the other side for player 2 there's buttons, and they have to make two preliminary guesses as to give them a hint as to where the blocks are and aren't. And then they reset the system, and then they make a full guess on the, or a final guess on where the blocks are. And if they over or under guess, or player 1 wins, and if they guess incorrectly, then they lose. So, I'm just gonna go through the wiring real quick and actually show you player 2's side first. Player 2 hits the buttons to guess where the blocks are. So if I were to go over here and place a block in 1, 3, and 4, but not 2, the torches for 1, 3, and 4 would light up. And I go 2 guesses because there's 4 buttons and you take half the number, and then you say, well, they're definitely on 1 and 3 now. So you have to make a stab at which ones you think they're on. So I'm going to make a wrong guess on 2. And since the block was not there, it does not light up. Currently I have no cheat detection or loss detection. I'm working on it. It's a little bit harder than it sounds on paper. But I'm getting to it. So if player 2 guesses the blocks correctly, they win. If they don't guess the blocks correctly, they lose. This system is totally modular, meaning that you can stack them side by side and it works, as they don't link together. How it works though is when you place a block, the current passes through it, as to when you don't place a block, the current does not pass through it. But when you place the block, the current goes through, flips this torch on up here. It goes to one end of an AND gate, and then when player 2 presses a button over here, it flips an RS NOR latch, goes to the other end of the AND gate. It's vertical. It's a nice vertical design. It works really well with this setup. And then they go up here, and then see if the player 2 has decided correctly and turns the torch on if they did. And then the reset is a lever, because I couldn't fit a button in here. With the current design, you flip it twice, and what flipping it twice does is it toggles it on and off for a bit more than a second. And the lever's right on this block right here, and the power goes down through here, down here, down here, and then into this, where it goes vertically to these torches and these blocks, and when you flip the lever to on, it powers these blocks, causing these wires to turn on, which basically makes them reset. This is the 4-slot design. Now this can be stacked as many times as you can, as long as these blocks are 1 space apart, meaning that you'll have to do a little bit of cramming in mcedit to get it in, but they have to be this far apart at all times and not like this, like the schematic is. But having it this way means you can stack them whatever direction you want. And then if you want to stack them, you're gonna have to either hook up all the resets together, they all are hooked up to one central lever on the far right hand side for player 2, and it repeats on that way. But I do have a design with 12 slots that works just as well, and it's totally modular. All I did was copy it 3 times and take the reset levers and remove them from the other 2 and just leave it on this one, and then connect all these wires below. And this system works just as well. You can have up to 12, and it makes that a lot more challenging for player 2. Player 2 is the person guessing, player 1 is the person making them guess. So I'm going to light up 7 through 12, and you get 6 guesses for this version, and I'm just going to do all the correct ones. So 6 guesses, and then you take a final guess at the positioning of them all, and you, if you get them all right without getting any wrong ones pressed, you win. I do have to work on that dissection system, as I said, but expect it soon. But I did make this system on a server, a public server, but it being a public server, it got griefed within a week, and I had no chance of making a video on it. I'll see if I can remake it. So, the system is fairly easy, fairly simple. I did build it vanilla. It took me about 3 stacks of redstone for this design over here. Scaled down a little bit with just the basic necessities, which is basically everything this has. I have some other designs that are a little bit more complicated, but I saw those as unfit, so I removed those. And this is not the final design for the system right now. I'm going to be making changes to it. For example, maybe placing the blocks is a little inconvenient in these slots because you could fall in. Maybe just putting a button that flips a piston in might work, or putting a lever or something would be a lot more simplistic, but then you'd have to remember to flip them back, which is a little difficult for some people. But it is a fairly decent game. I was told it's a super simple version of Mastermind, and if you don't know what that is, you can Google it. It's probably on Wikipedia. It's a game in which you guess the order and color of pegs, and you get so many guesses and such. But obviously, since I can't have multiple colors, or more than 2 colors, which is on and off, that made that a little. That made this project a little bit harder than I originally intended. But I will be making some improvements to the system, releasing better, more full versions to come. A little more clean. The cheat detection stuff would be nice. Wind detection would be nice too. But yeah. So the download link to the schematic files for both the 3 and the 12 will be or 4 and the 12 will be in the description. But that's about it. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.